Ekamp and Kopp went 1-2 this year in the voting in the Defensive Player of the Year for the Valley.
You know, Sean, when you have an opportunity to come and watch ball here, you understand how these folks understand the game of football, and they really get into it.
North Dakota State won the toss. They elected to defer, so we will see Illinois State. Second meeting between these two teams this year. You go back to October 4th, back in Normal, and Illinois State battled through 3 quarters. It slipped away late in the 4th period. They are hoping a different outcome in store with the spotlight even bigger. And this offense engineered by Tommy Rittenhouse, the senior 5'11", 195-pounder out of Geneva, making his 32nd career start, his first taste of the noise of the Dome here in Fargo.
I think he's accustomed to noise, but he's going to get it here. I think they're going to have hand signals, and their offensive line has to be prepared.
They open up from the 25, and they will come out throwing. It is Eddie Casper with the catch. Casper escorted out of bounds by Jalen Crumby. It's been a really good year for the 2-year starter Rittenhouse. Led the Valley this year, 28 touchdown passes throughout the course of the regular season, and they really like his toughness.
They think his decision-making is improved, his anticipation. You saw it on that first pass, get the ball out quick, and then also making good plays with his legs when he's able to. That's the thing he's going to have to do today against this Bison defense.
Victor Dawson gets the start in the backfield. Late developing situation. No Wankers right today for the Redbirds. Dawson will get the call as he takes it up past the 30 up to the 31. So how does that change what the Redbirds want to do offensively?
They want to run the football, and right here they're in third and 4, Sean. And this is what 2-yard gain on the ground isn't bad, but you have to have Victor Dawson and Glatz and Mason King. You have to have other guys that will step up in the running game, so you'll take some of the onus off of Rittenhouse.
Nobody better defensively in the Valley on 3rd down than the Bison.
Look for different things from the linebackers. They could come or they just stay with 4.
They rush only 4. They run the stunt right at the sticks, cutting off the route, and this will be really close. Casper with his 2nd catch, and let's see where they mark it.
The toughest problem with coming here also is that getting yards and these tough yards. This is where you have to make some decisions if you're going to go for it. And this is where Winker's right would be so effective in that short yardage situation he's not in today.
So they are just inches short, and Brock Spack says let's play the field position game early as he sends out Hayden Futch to punt it. A respect given to the Bison defense as Futch gets the punt away. Fair catch signaled for by Williams at the 21. It's a punt of 45 yards. Illinois State a 3-and-out. And now we get ready for one of the more powerful offenses in college football, led by Cole Payton. A senior quarterback out of Omaha, Nebraska, patiently waited for his opportunity. He was the number 2 behind the talented Cam Miller, who now is part of the Vegas Raiders organization. He waited for his opportunity, and he has delivered this year.
They gave him packages because of his legs. Now they love him because of his arm and the things that he can do. You're going to see this guy throw the ball all over the field, but if you don't pay attention to him, he can take off and hurt you badly.
Big, strong athlete, 233 pounds. Left-hander will come out throwing, pressure off the edge. He will take a shot, wide open. Lance down the sideline. Bryce Lance on the very first play. Bang! Touchdown! 78 yards.
I said, Sean, that he could hurt you with his arm. I didn't think it was going to be on the first play. And they came with pressure, and if you don't get there, Lance will be the guy that can hurt you badly along with Roger Nelson.
Bryce Lance picks up where he left off last postseason. He had the remarkable run for North Dakota State. 7 touchdown catches in the 4 playoff games. And wouldn't you know it, on the very first play, his offense has the ball. They dial up the 9-5 connection.
Double move, Sean. He takes it up to the house. You got to pay attention. You got to be on your keys, because if not, they go to the house.
It did not take long for Bryce Lance to etch his name in this score column. A beautiful throw and catch, 78 yards for the two-time first-team All-Valley, coming off his second straight year with over 1,000 yards. That's never been done in the long history of North Dakota State football as we take another look.
You knew the Redbirds were going to bring pressure, but you got to also make sure you can't fall for the double move. They get to Peyton just barely, but Cam Miller on the outside just totally loses, Cam Wilson loses Lance, and you can't do that because they're going to throw that ball deep. You've got to make sure you stay on guard there.
We were talking to North Dakota State coach Tim Polasek about the development of the wide receiver position throughout the years in Fargo. I think it's a misnomer. Oftentimes, they're so good playing physical football and smash mouth football that you forget the skill set on the edge, and they're bringing in a lot of talented receivers over the last 4 or 5 years.
They really have, and I think guys understand if they come here, they have a chance to make plays and get to the. I think the one thing that we talked about, Sean, you and I, when we knew we had this game, you can go to North Dakota State and get a chance to play at the next level. This program has done that for a lot of guys, and you can also play high-level quality football throughout the playoffs as well.
They have proven it time and time again throughout the years, the number of players they send from Fargo on to the next level.
One of the key things for Illinois State, as I just watched film and looked at everything, Youngstown State played them really well. And what they did is they held the ball, they had drives going, and Brock Spack talked about that. He said, we have to maintain that level. We have to make those plays when they're available. We cannot turn the ball over, and we got to make sure we stay away from 3 and outs. Spack,
the longest tenured coach right now in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, year 17. Second offensive series for Rittenhouse from the 25. Charles, the H-back right. Rittenhouse will move the pocket, dumps it underneath. Charles unable to make the one-handed catch. He was jarred by Woolen.
You know, you're going to see a lot of stuff that moves and some eye candy, and they're trying to get it to Charles, who's a 15 catches on the year, super senior. But wasn't going to make many yards, but any yards you can get here, it's hard yards to gain.
Huge road wins this year, 6-1 on the road. In fact, they took down South Dakota and South Dakota State, 2 programs who are in the round of 16 that will be playing today, and they are a very disciplined team. That's been a trademark for Spack throughout the years. First touch of the day for Dylan Lord. Nicely executed play as Lord uses his speed. And for the first time, the Redbirds move the sticks.
Good blocking by the receivers. You have to have that in order to get some explosive plays. This North Dakota State defense doesn't give up a lot of explosive plays, but you've got to find a way to challenge them. And Dylan Lord has been a guy that stepped up this year.
They really like him, the redshirt freshman from Chandler, Arizona. Got off to such a great start a year ago, but was injured the 3rd game in. Never came back, and he has really emerged as one of Rittenhouse's favorite targets. First down off the read. This will be Rittenhouse, and this is where he is dangerous, and very rarely will you see him go feet first, and that was something defensive coordinator Grant Olson praised him about.
He said, hey, he slides like Pete Rose, right? He's never going to go legs first. But the one thing about it is he sees the opening and he takes it, and that's the one thing you have to do as a quarterback. Be decisive when you make these plays. Their whole line is dinged up, but they're going to have to protect on 3rd down, especially in 3rd and long. Now you're in 2nd and short. You got a chance for a shot play here.
Late shift up front by NDSU. They come back near side. Lord with another catch, spins off an arm tackle, and he will pick up the first down. Forward progress up to the 46. Nice block by the newcomer of the year in the conference, Luke Maylander.
Yeah, Maylander with a really nice block, like you said, and I think that really allowed him to spring forward. When you see plays happen against North Dakota State, it's the offensive line coming off the ball protecting, or creating holes, and then the receivers and the tight ends have to block downfield.
Maylander, Lord, and Charles. Trip set to the top. Sobkowitz to the bottom. They run the draw up the middle. Gaping hole for Victor Dawson as he stumbles his way into plus territory. Big hole over the left side and a nice bounce back drive by Illinois State.
Well, when you come with the stunt game and you go the opposite way, they had a perfect play call. Kopp is in the middle of the field. He goes to the left. Dawson sees that and just goes where the hole is. Nice job by the offensive line so far, also creating holes.
Dawson was a wonderful find in the transfer portal coming in from Cincinnati after starting his career at Merrimack, and now with the injury to Wright. Huge offseason addition here in this postseason. Right back to him, looking for the jump cut, and he will have enough for the first down. Falling ahead to the 44, brought down by Anene.
Yeah, that's the one thing he does well. When he sees the hole, he's going to jump and go. Some guys will jump cut side to side. He's going north and south, Sean, and that body lean by him is what you have to do against the Bison defense. This is the other thing when I've watched teams that have played them close or been in games with them. You got to have sustained drives, but you got to come away with touchdowns, not field goals.
Yeah, threes will not win it, especially in this venue. Back-to-back first downs. They have it at the Bison 44. Near side throw and catch. Dylan Lord lassoed down. It's a minimal gain. Good job there by Kopp.
Rittenhouse has been really consistent. Not a lot of yards in his throws, but nicely putting the ball out there and getting it out quickly. That to me is setting up things for later where they can have some, out and ups, some double moves for later, because they know this defense is going to come after them. They've got to get yards every single play.
What's so interesting, 5 of 6 throwing in this first quarter. He has yet to target the best receiver to put on a Redbird uniform throughout the years, and Daniel Sobkowitz, number 2. They come back looking for Lord. Good job there, reaching around and breaking the play up.
Alexander with a really nice play. And he's just going to be able to go through the receiver and not target him, but hit him right at the time the ball gets there. Doesn't allow him to get it. But to your point, Sobkowitz, they're going to do things to take him away. But if you're Illinois State, these are the downs where you need him. He shows up big in big games. This is where you need to see him show up.
Play clock down to 1. Rittenhouse just got it off. A wobbler into double coverage, and let's see, it's intercepted by the Bison. Picked off by Talon Eady. That's now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive weeks for the talented youngster.
You can't force it to him. Double coverage. They know they're going to go to him. And Talon Eady said, "Hey, you give me that ball, I'm going to take it away." Really nice job of bracketing him and then saying, okay, if you're going to throw it here, I'm going to go be the receiver. Nice job by Talon Eady, and not a good decision by Rittenhouse. Everybody in the stadium knows you want to get it to Daniel Sobkowitz, even North Dakota State. Talon Eady is there, but also Woolen is there and almost knocking it out of his hands, but really good job by those guys coming in and making a play. And the deflection of the ball also is a real key to that not getting there.
Yeah, it looked like that was Dutenheffer who got a hand on it, and what a start for Tim Polasek, who's nearly been perfect in his 2 years in Fargo. And they have lived off the turnovers this year, and they have played complementary football all season long. For the redshirt freshman, Eady, that's 3 interceptions over the last 3 weeks. Now they will hand the ball off, and you will see a lot of patience from this guy. Barika Pinu playing his best football late in the year.
Barika is really playing well, and I think they all understand now. I love what he was telling us yesterday about how they've really simplified the fundamentals. They know the drills they're going to do every single day, and they just rep them. And you can see that happening on this field. That's why they're so good consistently, but even gotten better.
Third stint at North Dakota State for Polasek. Worked for Craig Bull, was part of Kleiman's staff before taking over a year ago for Matt Ince. After the 10-yard run by Penu, look at the time. Penu with the catch over the middle, and he is hit immediately by Mason Kaplan.
The real key in this game is getting to Peyton so he doesn't have that time. And then you also have to make sure when you get the receiver or whoever else, there can't be yards after catch, because that's the explosive plays that you see from this offense.
Quite a journey for Peyton, first-year starter, watching Cam Miller do his thing over the last few years. In fact, 3 straight years serving as the number 2. Knew he would have an opportunity this year along with a handful of other seniors, and they have made the most of it. Blitz pick up beautifully, the throw behind the receiver on the crossing pattern.
That's one Peyton wants back. He has a guy open. Shavion Brown was in coverage. But you've got to make sure you hit your receiver, who's almost was able to catch that and turn that up for a first down.
Chris Harris, the intended target. So the first third down in this opening quarter for Peyton and the Bison. Up 7. Halfway through quarter number 1 in the second round matchup. Busy day across the country in the FCS landscape. Redbirds show blitz, and here they come, and they're going to dial up the deep ball, man-on-man coverage, and a good job that time by Wilson. He was burnt earlier, not this time. Blanket coverage on Rajah Nelson.
And you better make sure you blanket him well, and that was a good job by Wilson. Step for step, running with Rajah Nelson and staying in his hip pocket and just sticking to him like Velcro. Officials aren't going to call that. That's a really good opportunity for Wilson to make a play and then force a punt.
5th year at Illinois State for Wilson, the senior from Cedar Hill, Texas, first-year starter, and he's been a good one on the back end for defensive coordinator Travis Niekamp. Casper awaiting the punt. Bickerton, who has improved throughout the course of the year, has a beauty. Bouncing inside the 5, surrounded by Bison. And this will come to a rest at the 2. 47 yards for Aaron Bickerton, and Illinois State working deep in the shadows of their own end, trailing on the road by 7. You talk to Brock Spack or any opponent of North Dakota State throughout the year, they always say you must win the 4th quarter, and it looked pretty good at Hancock Stadium earlier this year on October 4th. The touchdown pass, Rittenhouse to Sopkowitz, but then the 4th quarter arrived, and that's when the Bison took off. A touch by Peyton, finding Bryce Lance from 23 yards, and then DJ Scott finished it off. North Dakota State outscoring the Redbirds 15-0, blowing open what was a very tight football game through 3 quarters.
And that's when you talk to the Illinois State staff, 7 or 8 plays in the game that just turned it. Early fumbles, 3 or 4 busts. So they've got to find ways to not, like that turnover there, don't let that stay with you. Don't let that linger. How do you move on from that?
A 1 win in Fargo for Illinois State, 2009. They spoiled the Bison homecoming. Sideline pattern, looking for Sopkowitz for the first time, and just beyond his wide wingspan.
You know, their record in the FCS playoffs, North Dakota State is 38-1 in the Fargo Dome. Since 2010, the only loss they've had was to JMU in 2016. So it's tough to beat them here. It can be done, but it is very, very hard. You got to play really good football to make that happen.
Dangerous part of the field here with a very young offensive line. A Redbird O-line that entered today banged up. Up the middle they go, and just trying to get any type of breathing room north-south, that low center of gravity for Victor Dawson.
Yes, Sean, generally right here, you want to just get that first down and then stack a couple of them. And the offensive line loves it when you can run the ball, but now you're 3rd and 9, you have to pass. And I would imagine there'll be some rollout for Tommy Rittenhouse, so he won't be a sitting target.
Seth Glatz into the game. Remember, no Winkers right today, so everybody moves up on the depth chart in the running back room. Third down and 9. They will stay conservative with it to Glatz. And North Dakota State, what were we talking about a few moments ago? complementary football. The special teams unit gets the job done. The defense then forces a 3 and out, and you give this great offense excellent field position.
And your linebacking crew comes over and watch the interior. Good hands, just shed and move over. That's what you got to have when you are winning inside. The tackles for losses in this area are really, really critical.
Jackson Williams awaiting the punt. Futch with his heels on the back of the goal line gets a terrific kick away, but returnable. One of the most deadly return men in the country. Watch out, Williams with a lane. One man to beat to the 10-5 touchdown. 52 yards for Williams.
Woo. Game can change on you real quick. And a guy like Williams, that speed is just, it's a different level. Not a very long kick. Coverage wasn't there, and if there's lanes open, he's going to take advantage of it.
He was a second-team All-Valley return man this year, and he told the coaches, I'm not happy about that. I have something to prove in this postseason. Well, Jackson Williams has done it again. The electrifying return man.
He has a kickoff return for a touchdown. Now he can add a punt return. Good job by the Bison special teams unit. Look at the convoy. That's what you have to have if you're going to have a big return. You know right here you're going to beat one man, and then everybody else is out of position. You have guys stacked with each other, which is never good in a punt return game, and that's where Williams can say, woo, let me go. And then a little bit of celebration.
You mentioned the kick return earlier this year. That was a 100-yarder against Youngstown State. He's been close on a couple of punt returns last year. And keep in mind, this guy last year, just one of 2 freshmen that Polasek elected not to redshirt because he was so vital in special teams.
Well, and you bring up that Youngstown State game. I went back and watched it last night. That's the one team that played this team tough, but it was plays like Williams and different things that they needed to win that game. Illinois State is still in this ball game. You just got to find a way to stack some plays on top of each other so you can get some confidence in your offense.
Trouble brewing early, and on the return, this is Marquand Gary as he's cut down at the 25. Don't forget the FCS playoffs continue with quarterfinal action next Friday and Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships.
What did both teams talk about, Sean? The pit, the line of scrimmage, who's going to win that? So far, North Dakota State is winning there. If you're going to win this game, Illinois State, that's where you have to do it, and they understand that.
Rittenhouse 5 of 9 early, picked off once as they go back to the ground game with Seth Glatz. Yeah, you understand that they're going to have their safeties coming down. They're going to have everybody else. So Rittenhouse has to get comfortable with getting some yards in the run game, but they're going to have to make some passes to beat this team. You're not going to beat them any other way. But this is the Illinois State team that's physical. They understand. They played on the roll well. Now they have to turn this around now. And it's a defense that is getting healthier with each passing week. Second down, far side throw, making the catch is Casper, but trying to avoid Kopp. He stepped out of bounds. Now you talk about this defense getting healthy. You see number 92 out there, Kelton McCaslin. He is playing with a big club on his hand. They missed him last week. The secondary also getting healthy. Jalen Duffy missed some time late with a concussion. But boy, you get every part back into place, and this is a even scarier situation when you come to Fargo.
You got a club. All you need is one hand to play defensive line. You just go on and just make things happen.
Third down, Rittenhouse against a 4-man front, puts some loft into it, and what a catch. Casper high pointing the ball beautifully right in front of the defender. That was Crumby in the neighborhood, but Casper with his third catch in this first quarter.
What a throw by Rittenhouse. I mean, you have time. The offensive line does a nice job. He just lofts it over there. Wow, it looks like my 56-degree lob wedge I want to use consistently. Look, outstanding between the two defenders and just almost like a point guard basketball. Outstanding throw.
Let's see if that throw gives him a little bit of confidence after the interception. Tough start on the road, down a couple of scores early. First down, Glatz trying to knife his way through a little crevice. Not much luck. Gang tackling up front. Staline was the first one to greet him.
You know, they are so good against the run. They're only allowing 97.6 yards in the run game, North Dakota State. You have to find ways to make your passing game a part of the run game, and then just getting outside, making sure you can get to the edges and get in space.
Staline, one of the linebackers who has really stepped up this year. Keep in mind the linebacking core lost 5 of the 6 top producers from a year ago. Second down and 9. Rittenhouse underneath. Casper another catch. Ducks under one. Ducks under a second defender. Dodges a couple of missiles and falls ahead to the 47.
He makes Woolen miss first, number 1. Who comes flying in. This is a nice job by Casper. Casper said, okay, guys, we got to make some plays. If I need to do it all by myself, I will. Woolen comes over the top, misses. Another miss there. Taylor Eady. Really nice job by Casper.
Eddie Casper looking a lot like his uncle Kevin. That's what he did back in his days in Iowa City, playing for the Hawkeyes and then into the NFL. Walk on, turn one of the better players. Dangerous throw and another interception.
And Woolen is on that one. Donovan Woolen with an outstanding catch. And watching him on tape, you can tell he likes to get after the football. And this is a nice job. Third interception on the year for that young man. He and Taylor Eady were there before, Sean. And look at this. He just reads it and goes after it. The length, great catch by him. You can't throw late to the other hash, and you can't do it against a guy that plays so well in space. And Donovan Woolen, the sophomore, they really like what he's starting to do.
We were talking about all the linebackers gone. Oscar Benson, Marcus Goley, Nick Kubitz, Luke Weirtz, all graduated. They lost another to the transfer portal to Wyoming, and Woolen and Staline have stepped in, and they are the trio when you look at the linebacker room across the FCS landscape. And there is big-time trouble brewing right now for Illinois State. The explosive play has been prevalent.
Oh, it has been. Right off the bat, you have a long touchdown pass to Lance. And you can't get beat that way. And then the kick return. Special teams always plays a role in these playoff games. And Williams says, hey, let me get involved. Let me make it happen for you.
Stretch play to the boundary side. Good resistance this time, and that was Niekamp, the first one to hit him. Ty Niekamp, the All-Valley Defensive Player of the Year this year. And hey, you take your pick between the big plays. Defensively, Woolen with the interception. Lance, long touchdown catch. Williams on special teams, and the end result, a 14-0 lead. Final few moments wind down on this first quarter clock. The defending champions are back after a first-round bye. Here in the Palace, they call the Fargo Dome, and they came out ready to go. A Missouri Valley Football Conference showdown, and through one, it's all Bison. They love their Bison here in Fargo as we welcome you back to coverage of the NCAA Football Championships. The Fargo Dome, the setting, North Dakota State up 14, and this is one of those games where statistics can kind of be off. You look at time of possession, Brock Spack's squad had it for nearly 12 minutes in the first quarter, yet they look up at the scoreboard down a pair of touchdowns.
Well, when you have explosive plays, that's all you really need. Your offense hasn't you had to play but one time and make it stick there for you.
They pitched the ball to Penu. Rika Penu, the senior from West Fargo, hometown product, Cheyenne High School, and really the similar path that Cole Payton took. He patiently waited for his opportunity, sat behind some really good running backs, and now in his senior year, this is his offense, his show.
It's more decisive, making plays better in the pass game, pass protection game even. They like what he's doing so far this year.
They go empty set on 3rd down and 8. They need to get it to the 35, and Illinois State will get to him. That was Steffen, who stuck his big paw out there, and the sack for Garrett Steffen.
Nice job by Steffen, because if he doesn't get Cole Payton, Payton is running for some yards. Look on the interior. 56 is going to come and work his way, just working through the guard, and does a nice job of getting to Payton. If he doesn't get there, look at the middle of the field. Payton's going to have some room to run. He's going to have to take on one of those linebackers. Nice job by Steffen.
Steffen, the team leader in sacks, adds another total. Casper with the fair catch at the 12. 32 yards on the punt by Bickerton. That's twice now he's pinned the Redbirds deep. Illinois State with some work to do. They trail it early from Fargo. Plenty of football today across FCS. Second round action on the ESPN app, and a tough start for Tommy Rittenhouse. 5th offensive series for the Redbirds. A couple of punts and a couple of interceptions. The 2 picks matching a career high from earlier this year. He's been so good at protecting the football, Charles.
Yeah, you got to make sure you protect the ball. You can't give this North Dakota State any opportunity. Their defense has played pretty well.
Trying to get this ground game going as they go back to Victor Dawson, plunging ahead for 2 yards, brought down by Keenan Wilson.
Their ground game is only averaging 2.9 yards per carry, and that's not going to get it done. And the only offensive guy that's really made plays for him so far has been Eddie Casper.
Casper, 5 catches, 32 yards. Lord has the other 3 receptions from Rittenhouse. 8 of 13 in this first half. 2nd down and some movement up front. Looked like one of the Redbirds flinched. It's a Big Sky officiating crew today. The referee is Greg Wilson.
It looks like the left tackle, or right tackle, excuse me.
Five-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
This offensive line has really had to do some makeshifts over the past few weeks. You see that was Big Jake Pope.
Yeah, they had both tackles moving before everybody else.
Brock Spack had Jack McGarry and Landon Woodward, both as game-time decisions. You see McGarry in there right now at center. 2nd down after the penalty, low throw, and digging it out is Dylan Lord as they get back close to the original line of scrimmage, picking up 4 yards.
And the reason why is Keenan Wilson was coming through and just working his, he ran in and just really didn't give Rittenhouse any time to throw the football. Sometimes he can be out of position, they say, but he will make some plays for you. 4 sacks on the year. 8 tackles for loss, even 1 interception. He's a stat stuffer on the interior of the defensive line.
Yeah, that's what makes him so unique, the ability to generate the pressure from the interior. 3rd down and 9. This crowd bringing some pressure. They run a stunt. Here they come over the middle, and they hit the tight end. Diving catch by Scotty Presson, and that is a much-needed 1st down. 15 yards to one of Rittenhouse's favorite 3rd down targets.
This offensive line has done a nice job. You see him picking up all the pressure, and then a really nice throw and catch by Presson. He has a guy trailing him, and all he has to do is get those hands out there and make the catch. Staling is trying to stay with him, but as a tight end or a receiver, you got a guy in your hip pocket, just get there and make the catch in the seam.
11 of Presson's 17 catches this year on 3rd downs. From the 31, nice move at the point of attack, and now it's a foot race. Into the secondary goes Victor Dawson, and they won't catch him. Illinois State hits the home run.
That is what you need if you're going to beat a North Dakota State football team. Wow. Victor Dawson with a huge run. Stacking, good play, Sean, but stacking a first down and then coming back with a huge explosive. Wow. Look at the interior blocking here, and Dawson with a nice decision going back inside of the block by Javon Charles. And then when he gets there, it's home run. He's saying, I might try to run back to Normal, Illinois. Really good job of move, and then right at the right time, the Akron, Ohio senior with a huge play.
For Dawson, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Maldonado adds the point after, and the Redbirds on the board.
You got a chance. You make sure you take this to the house, secures the ball, shows the speed, and gets it there.
Here in Fargo today, everything has come via the big play. 2 by North Dakota State. Most recently, that man, Victor Dawson, the transfer they brought in from Cincinnati, and he sat behind some good running backs at Cincy with Corey Kiner and Evan Pryor, but now with the injury to Wright, he can showcase his skill set.
I really love the patience because Charles was beat. He could have stayed outside, but he saw that hole, and then the interior of the offensive line did a nice job of sealing everything, and he just takes it and takes it to the house. The one thing you can do against this defense is if you get in the open space, you can beat them with your speed. That doesn't happen a lot, and they normally have second and third level over the top of it. But for whatever reason, they weren't there, and that's why Illinois State was able to take advantage of it.
In fact, it's a Bison defense that has not allowed a 100-yard rusher all year. Williams and Nelson, the 2 return men, and this will be Nelson with an opportunity from his 5. Stumbles a little bit, and Rajah Nelson with a return of 19 yards. Tim Polasek and North Dakota State, they have been number 1 from the get-go. They are the toughest team to score on this year, and it's an offense full of playmakers, and this is an offense that lost their quarterback from a year ago to the NFL. They lost their 2 starting tackles to the NFL, and yet here they are producing those eye-popping numbers one more time.
Yeah, they just find ways to keep getting guys in there and just making plays. Restock and reload.
Clock operator, please reset the clock to 11:16, please. 11:16, please.
We talk about the 2 tackles that they lost to the National Football League. Mason Miller on one side, and then how about the year Greg Zabel is having as a starting guard with Seattle. Not one senior in the front 5 for North Dakota State. Young, mean, and talented, and they will run the zone to the right side up to the 30 to the 31-yard line. DJ Scott with his first touch.
They get in big personnel, and they used to run a lot of power. And they still can run power, but they feel like pin and pull is a good one for them. Counter, inside and outside zone works well for them. I think the thing is they're really trying to match what their offensive line can do for these running backs.
And they're a little banged up as well. No Josh Maggin. He's in uniform, but they start the true freshman Ryan Babbitts at left tackle. Second down, same play, and there's Niekamp, the Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year. A big greeting from the Redbird.
I think he and his dad, when they go to breakfast with his brother, they don't talk a lot of football, but I'm sure he says, Dad, if you need me to come downhill, watch 46. Flow with ferocity to the ball carrier. Nice job by Niekamp.
He's been a tackle machine all year. 4th tackle today, coming off a 13-tackle game last week. And you see the monster number, and he is a local product. Normal community. The Niekamp family, his younger brother Dexter on the field right now. Number 44 on this 3rd and short. Peyton's going to take off. They had a couple of spies out there, and yet Peyton able to craft his way, carve it up to the 36, and keep this drive alive.
Nice job by Peyton knowing, hey, I got guys watching me now. I always feel like somebody's watching me. You remember that song? Well, yeah, you're going to have that if you're a quarterback that can run. But look at 14 and 46. And you always feel like it, and you have guys coming back, peeling, trying to catch him. Everybody's paying attention to him, but he's still able to get that first down.
And that was a key area we both talked about as we watch film this year for Illinois State. They have been prone to give up some quarterback runs and scrambles.
DJ Williams is a guy that really hurt them in the run game. Ball
got stripped on the backside tackle. Illinois State fighting for it, and the Redbirds end up with it.
That was Dexter Niekamp that came behind and punched it out. Watch 44. The young Jack with a lot of potential. He said, hey, I'm tired of Big Brother getting all the love. Let me get a little bit. Watch 44 come on the back end and scrape, and the running back never sees it there. Watch 44 here. You're going to see him coming straight down the line, and boom, knock the ball out. You've got to protect the football at all expenses, especially if the linebacker's coming behind you like that. Nice job by Illinois State. This defense has played tough. This is an opportunity for them now to change this game.
Johnny on the spot with the recovery. C.J. Richard, and now Rittenhouse. Best starting position of the afternoon.
The tackle moved.
Looked like it was Brassfield.
Ball start. Offense, number 70. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So let's go to this offensive line on the right. See, Logan Brassfield, normally a guard, has been forced to move to tackle. Wallace, normally a tackle to guard. The difficulties for that, especially late in the year.
It's late in the year, and also, too, where your angles are and what you're looking at. You're going against 7, 8, 9 techniques as opposed to the 3 and 5 or guys on the inside. So it changes the landscape for you, but he's versatile enough to do that.
Casper in motion. This will be Seth Glatz with a good hole over the right side, right over the A gap. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Ethan Wood drives him down.
You talk to offensive line coaches, they want a couple of guys that can move to different places, maybe not have to play the whole season there, but to stand in those places. The other thing, Illinois State still has to run the football, and they got the lead, they got a touchdown by running. They're going to have to continue to fight back through the run game.
Still no catches for Daniel Sopkowitz. Receiver flanked at the bottom of the screen. Rittenhouse changing up the play. Second down and 10. Rittenhouse looked his way. Now comes back near side, and the third interception for the Bison. On the return, this is Staline. He has a wall of green. Code green in Fargo. Touchdown, Nathan Staling. 67 yards.
These guys are offensive playmakers when they get the football. Whether it's Woolen, whether it's Staling, whether it's Kopp, any of the secondary guys, they want to score. But I think the ball was tipped coming out. He had time, he looks around. Yep, the ball is tipped right there. Really nice job on the interior. I think it was Toby Anene. But nice job by the defensive line of putting their hands up and not letting him throw that clean. Wow.
Second pick six this year for Staling. He took one back against South Dakota. And now the junior from Baxter, Minnesota. Defensive coordinator Grant Olson called him the best third-string linebacker in the country a year ago. North Dakota State with an interception return, a punt return, and a long scoring pass to Lance. Their offense in this first half, 3 takeaways for the Bison defense.
Well, Toby Anene gets a chance to get his hand in there for Staling, and Staling does what he does best, return that ball. But you talk about complimentary football, but also guys on the team. You don't. That's not going to go down as a big stat, right? A tip ball or pass defense, but it comes out huge because on the other end you get 52 to take it back to the house and change the momentum back to the Bison.
We were talking before break. Grant Olson just heaping praise on the junior Staling. Last year joking the best third-string linebacker in the country, and that's just because he had such wonderful linebackers out in front of him, and he comes up with the big play, but it's been a tough first half for Rittenhouse. Not 1, not 2, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, and it's come in the way of 2 of them by linebackers, which was a really key component for this defense. Logan Cobb gets a lot of the attention, but Staling and Woolen, the junior and sophomore respectively, also they battle and competitive in a friendly way of getting plays and getting tackles.
First time he's been picked off 3 times in a football game as the starter the past 2 years. And look at the hole open up. Right up the middle goes Victor Dawson. 8 yards for Dawson, up ahead to the 26.
Dawson is running through the holes and finding spots inside to really make a difference for this offense. They just have to protect the football. That's the only way they're going to find a way to win. You can't beat this team any other way but to protect the football and play solid against them.
NDSU has been a brick wall all season, but look what the Redbirds have been able to do today, and they will add to that total. A first down run for Dawson.
And what Dawson is doing, Sean, is he's going behind the zone, and instead of cutting onside, he'll stay backside, and they've just walled everything off, and then it's forcing the linebackers and the safeties to come up and have to tackle him.
Victor Dawson's father started him in football back in 5th grade. He watched a ton of college and NFL games. Started his career at Merrimack, where he rushed for 230 yards his freshman year before a season-ending injury. Came back his sophomore year, put up even bigger numbers, and that's when he hit the portal and spent a couple of years at Cincinnati with Coach Scott Satterfield. Just couldn't get on the field consistently, sitting behind players like Pryor and Kiner. Of course, Sorsby, a running quarterback for the Bearcats. He was actually brought to Illinois State by the current North Dakota State running back coach and Sam O'Jury.
Yeah. Hey, it works well for him, right? And I will say this, Tony Peterson and the staff have to figure out ways to continue to do this. And then when Rittenhouse throws the football, make him comfortable on things that he can get to the outside.
Second down and 8. Rittenhouse off the play fake. A lot of room given, and Sobkowitz with his first catch as he skids into Bison territory. 18 yards and a first down.
And see what I'm saying, Sean? Everything for him has been pretty good outside the numbers and outside the hash. When he's gotten into the middle of the field, it's been a little bit tricky.
Sobkowitz, one of the most talented receivers, not just in the Missouri Valley, but across college football, and he had a good game the first time back at Hancock Stadium against this secondary.
Grant Olson is clearly aware, the defensive coordinator, of where Sobkowitz is all the time.
First down and coming off the edge with the tackle. That was beautifully done by Duffy, the corner.
And these corners don't mind getting in there and mixing it up. Jalen Duffy at 5'11", 175. You can see he throws himself around, and really nice job of getting that tackle there. He and Jaquise Alexander both will come off the edge and make plays along with Alfaro.
You saw the defensive coordinator in the last shot, Grant Olson. He was a good one for the Bison back in his day. Second down and 11. Back to the ground they go with Glatz. Runs through one arm tackle. Glatz will take it to the 47 where Anene has another stop.
I like what they're doing here to calm your quarterback down and get him back into the game, because when you throw 3 interceptions, you just kind of like start pressing. But I will say this, now he has to throw the football, making sure that he does it in a way where he doesn't get in harm's way again.
Is this 4-down territory? Do you have 2 downs to pick up 7?
It almost looks like it, but you got to make sure you get this down and make it positive yards and not give it away to the other team.
Third down, pressure comes up the middle. Rittenhouse trying to buy some time, and now he's going to use his legs, and he takes a big hit. Rittenhouse putting the body out there. Isley, one of the first players to chase him down. You see some of the toughness from Tommy Rittenhouse.
Yeah, and he's going to take a shot from Woolen also. That's the shot that really hits him. And to your point, going for it on 4th down, picking up those yards. He took a shot. by Donovan Wood.
It's playoff football. It's the month of December. There's no tomorrow for the loser. You lay it all on the line like Rittenhouse did. Big play early in this football game. 4th down and 2. Here comes this crowd. Play clock to 1, and Illinois State frantically trying to get the attention of the side judge to get a timeout, and they just did get it called.
Yeah, you had an assistant running down the sideline trying to get the call.
There is no foul for delay of game. Illinois State called timeout prior to the play clock running out. That is their first timeout.
And they were frantically
30-second timeout.
West Coast football tonight coming up on ESPN2. This is a good one. Rhode Island and UC Davis. UC Davis, the 8th seed, coming off a bye. Rhode Island beat Central Connecticut State last week in a wild one, 27-19. Those two teams combining for close to 700 passing yards. So we'll see if Rhode Island can light up the scoreboard for the 2nd straight week. That's coming up tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2.
A lot of good football. FCS, FBS, just lock in.
It's a wonderful format. 24 teams.
I love it.
Top 8 earn a bye. The next 8 seeds all get the first round home game. It's a great format. Best time of the year. 4th and 2. Lord in motion. Charles the H-back left. They will pitch it. Lord with a cutback lane and a 1st down.
Ooh.
I love that from Dylan Lord. Did not try to get cute.
Nope. Saw
a little space, knew what he had to do.
Homer Smith, our former offensive coordinator, rest of his soul, would say, knife it in there. When you get the ball, watch this. This is what knifing looks like. Homer Smith would say, if you stick the foot in the ground and you knife it through there, you will get the 1st down. Go through knife like butter. And that's what he did right there.
Paid the price, but the tough guy showing some courage and really some football intuition. Great play. Approaching the 2-minute timeout. 1st down from the 39. Rittenhouse will wing it out. Far side throw, making the catch. First catch of the day for the talented freshman, Luke Maylander, as he sprints up ahead.
And look what they're trying to do again, Sean. Take it out of the middle of the field where these linebackers are lurking and getting it into space. And I like what Tony Peterson has done now to calm this quarterback down. Can't beat them in that interior with Kopp, Staling, and Woolen running around in the inside the numbers. But if you can get it outside and get it away from them, you stay out of harm's way.
They love throwing the screen out of this formation. They will not do it here as they hand the ball off on what will take us to the 2-minute timeout. Illinois State hanging around. Key drive late. The Bison here at the Fargo Dome on top, 21-7. Nobody has been better in the middle 8. The last 4 minutes of a first half, first 4 minutes of a second half than Tim Polasek and the Bison. Take a look at these staggering numbers. 123-16, and you know as well as anyone, this is where football games are won.
All coaches talk about that middle 8. The last 4 minutes of the 4th quarter, the first 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter. What kind of things can you do to adjust and make? The only time they didn't have the advantage in this is when they played Youngstown State. Every other game, they have shown dominance at this part.
Illinois State trying to curb the trend with this drive. 11th play of the drive coming up for Rittenhouse. They've eaten up over 6 minutes off the game clock. 2nd down and 10. Out of the backfield, making the catch is Seth Glass, hit immediately by Givens.
Sean, look what they're doing again. Keeping throws that stay away from that interior. You've got to do what you can to make sure you keep the chains moving.
North Dakota State, they're first.
Bison are going to use a timeout with 3rd down and 8 coming up. Now, what a year it is for the Missouri Valley Football Conference. 6 teams this year. Quarter of the field represented by one conference, and rightfully so. Year in, year out. They almost cannibalize each other throughout the course of the season, which costs them some seeds once the bracket is available.
And Sean, how much do you hear people saying, well, why don't they move up to the FCS? Why should you? Why should you? If you can dominate here and get into the college, the FCS championship run or playoff, this is what you want to do. And I think it's worked very well for them. And they've even started getting kids that want to transfer to them from the Power 4 conference because they know they can come and play some good football if they're not getting a chance to play on their side or play on their team.
Third and 8 after the timeout. Glatz is the back. Presson in motion. Keep an eye on him. Rittenhouse with time over the middle, and the pass is caught. And this will be a first down catch. Second grab on this drive by Maylander, and Rittenhouse dialing up a beauty.
That offensive line, I got to give them a lot of credit for protecting this quarterback and letting him step into the pocket and grow. And that was one where the people for Illinois State probably were holding their breath because it's going inside the hash and inside the number. But a nice throw by Tommy Rittenhouse.
Fresh set of downs. They have it just outside the 10. They can still pick up a first down. Dancing through a hole outside the right guard goes Glatz.
I'll say this too, Sean. Their center guard area has done a really nice job of not letting Keenan Wilson and Dutton Heffer do the things that they normally do, or Dutton Heffer consistently. Those two inside guys haven't been disruptive against the run game, so that's allowed them to run the football, and then Rittenhouse has been able to throw it, and when he's not thrown it to the other team, he's done a pretty nice job.
Second down, Rittenhouse looking left on the inside, slant touchdown, Illinois State. Sobkowitz with the strike, and the Redbirds just hanging around in this first half.
I love the play design. You get the running back outside, and you have Sobkowitz in a spot where he knows if he throws it there. And Rittenhouse, what he does, looks outside, hold it, come back in. Really nice job there.
Nobody has caught more touchdown passes in Illinois State football history than Daniel Sobkowitz, and he adds one more to the total. 14-play, 82-yard drive.
Set Glatz on a wheel route, and Rittenhouse does a really good job of holding everybody with his eyes outside, and then comes into Sobkowitz, who this was a really nice throw by him, getting his confidence back. But a really good drive by this Illinois State team. Hey, I told you before the game, both of these teams, when they look in the mirror, they look at themselves, right? You know, physicality, toughness. I talk about 2-year-old, maybe 3 or 4-year-old beef jerky. They're just tough. And when you have that mentality, you have to have the understanding that, hey, there's going to be tough times. There's going to be really hard times, but how do I lean into the hard and grind? And I love what Illinois State is doing, and North Dakota State has another one. These are two like old school boxing folks. You know, jab, body blow, uppercut. You're going to see it all day long.
Yeah, when these brackets were unveiled and you saw the opportunity of these two heavyweights in the conference getting together as early as the second round, I know I circled this date like this is going to be a fun one, and it has lived up to it. Explosive plays. We've seen star players step up. Illinois State enduring the turnovers and some special teams as Williams is going to give it a crack. 5 yards deep as a flag is thrown. Williams, boy, he takes a big hit as he pops his way out to the 30, but a flag thrown. It's been a fairly clean football game in this first half.
Yeah, other than the turnovers and only a few penalties. 2 for Illinois State so far, and this one looks like it's going to go against North Dakota State.
Our Big Sky officiating crew, Greg Wilson, the referee, sorting this one out.
Generally a hold or a block in the back where the flag came from, but we'll see.
There are 2 fouls during the return, holding kicking team number 27. That penalty will be declined, or excuse me, number 20. Then additionally, we have a block in the back, return team number 27. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. First down, North Dakota State.
Generally, when you have guys running by you on the kickoff team, and I've done this a lot. I've played all teams. You're going to have, when someone runs by you, you're generally going to hit them in the back to make sure you ensure that your guy is there. Really doesn't have to there you can see on the replay, but it just, you compound it when he beats you, and then you go and hit him in the back.
How aggressive does Tim Polisek and offensive coordinator Dan Larson call it right now with 2 timeouts?
You know, I'm curious because since the first play, they've really struggled. And that's one thing they're going to have to figure out at the halftime break. I would think that they would try to get a first down here and then maybe open it up a little bit. But they have not played particularly well on offense since that first drive.
We just haven't seen a lot of this offense. 14th play for North Dakota State offensively in this first half, and you see the monster number put up by the Redbirds, 41 plays from the line of scrimmage.
And they've also had a couple of 3 and outs where they just couldn't get the rhythm of their offense going.
Illinois State, they're second. 30-second timeout.
Redbirds spot an opportunity, so they will use a timeout. Keep in mind, North Dakota State will get the football first to start the second half.
Well, we talked to both
Clock
coaching
operator,
staffs.
please reset the clock to 34 seconds, please. 3-4.
Last time they played, it wasn't until the fourth quarter where North Dakota State really pulled away.
Brock Spack had a special relationship with one of the best in the business, and Joe Tiller. He played for him. He had an opportunity to coach for him. He was a player back when Tiller was a coordinator, and then when Tiller took the head job at Purdue, Spack was one of his assistants. And what a job he has done with the Redbird program. Year number 17, took the job just before the start of the 2009 year. Stability, consistency at a high level. After the timeout, Penu trying to escape to the corner, and he won't get there as gang tackling for Illinois State.
What did Dan Larson say? He said they are tough on the edge plays, they build wall, and they're tough guys. We've seen that from this defense.
Illinois State.
They're not getting beat to the edge by this North Dakota State
30-second
team so far.
timeout. Please reset the clock to 23 seconds, please. 23 seconds.
Redbirds will use their final timeout. Look who is in the house. Chris Kleiman, who earlier in the month announced his retirement after his stint at Kansas State. And Kleiman, as you recall, guiding the Bison to 4 national championships in 5 years in his time here in Fargo. And he's here to support his son, who's one of the assistant coaches.
Who's doing a really good job. A few weeks ago, I got to call the Kansas State-Oklahoma State game, and you could just tell some of the things that were bothering Coach Kleiman. I didn't think he would retire and move away from football, but the way things have changed has made it a lot tougher.
There's his son, Devin, who spent 5 years on the staff at Kansas State with his father. He's part of the 2022 championship, and we saw Coach Kleiman down on the field earlier, and there were a lot of Bison fans wanting to get his attention and just reminisce, I'm sure. Taking a shot deep downfield, jump ball, and it's broken up beautifully by Wilson. He elevated that time, and he matched Bryce Lance, and that works out about as beautifully as it possibly could for Illinois State, because now they're going to get the football.
Well, and Cam Wilson, who got beat early but has been Johnny on the spot since that time. This is a nice job by Cam Wilson of climbing the ladder and just going up and beating Lance for the football, who's taller. But the guy that wanted to really get it more was the 5'11" senior out of Cedar Hill, Texas. Got some confidence now, these Redbirds.
Bickerton on the punt for the 3rd time, gets the kick away. It's a spiraling kick, line drive and a beauty. Casper on the back pedal, fields at the 28 and just has nowhere to go. If there's an MVP in this first half, there's been plenty on both sides, but Aaron Bickerton's name would be up near the top of the list.
Oh, man, he has had some hellacious punts because it just puts you in harm's way. And Casper is in that no man's land, and he has just done a nice job.
64 yards on the punt by Bickerton, and keep in mind, he won the field position battle for the Bison earlier, pinning Illinois State twice inside their own 15, one time at the 1.
You could tell, man, that both staffs knew what was at stake. and they knew they were going to have a tough ball game today, no matter how it started. I'm looking forward to how this thing is going to play out in the second half, excuse me.
Brock Spack is not going to get cute. Two teams with so much respect head to the locker room, and a good one here from Fargo as expected. North Dakota State, the defending champs. They've won 10 titles in the past 14 years, having to battle through an old nemesis in Illinois State. Lance got them on the board early. Dawson with a long touchdown run for the Redbirds. Bison by 7 at the intermission. North Dakota State has been money in these playoffs, looking for their 16th straight trip into the FCS quarterfinals. Brock Spack and the Redbirds, they've had a couple of near misses in recent years. Will this be the day they strike the win column against the Bison? Has not happened since 2010.
They're trying to find a way to beat this team, and special teams is a key part. If you're the special teams unit, you better get down and cover. These two return guys are very, very dangerous.
Winner of this game will get the winner of Rhode Island and UC Davis, which will kick off 10 Eastern tonight on ESPN2 on the West Coast. All right, Charles, you look at this offense right now for North Dakota State. They were on the field for a grand total of 7 minutes, 15 seconds. They had 16 plays from the line of scrimmage. What's the play calls here to get Cole Payton some type of rhythm and flow offensively?
Running game has to take off. And then if they get into a situation where he has to pass and he has an open lane to run the football, that's where he's really been effective. He has 13 touchdowns rushing, 791 yards on the ground. So he also has to play a role in the run game if it's not going to come from the running backs.
Penu, 7 carries for 29 yards in the first half, and they will go to the ground and look at the pursuit, the penetration by Illinois State. Jake Anderson, he is their money winner inside, the big, tough nose guard that they really anchor so much around.
Garrett Steffen, also 56, holding the edge. We talk a lot about them being in position and not allowing them to get down and constricting what these guys want to do. I think this is really a good job by this Illinois State defense on the first play out of the break.
Steffen in a second year at Normal, transferred in from Western Illinois. Loss of 2 for Penu. Payton the throw, and he's hit, and he gets away. Here's the strength. The flag is thrown. Cole Payton to the edge, and he will hop, skip out of bounds, but a flag thrown in the vicinity of a hole when it looked like the Redbirds had him dead to right.
Well, that's the one thing. He is so strong. He will break away from you. With pressure, you got to contain your lanes.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
One compounding thing you can't do if you're North Dakota State is have a penalty flag come against you, and these are the things that end up hurting you.
That was Reese Edwards, who had a pretty good hold of Cole Payton.
He did. He's a wrestler, a great wrestler in high school, but he couldn't wrestle him down there.
Won close to 100 matches on the mat. State finalists. Reese Edwards, there's a few wrestlers on both of these squads. Cut back there by Penu as he takes it up close to the 20, marked down at the 19-yard line. Ty Niekamp, another stop.
Travis Niekamp, the defensive coordinator, has said we've got to win on first down, which has been happening consistently in those, 18 plays, and then really getting off the field on third down. He said those are the 2 key things that he had to have this team do. And so far, we've seen that against the offense, other than that explosive first play out of the gate.
Secondary will be tested here. Kuba, one corner. Another cornerback near side is DeBose. Wilson also in the game. Nickel package, pair of safeties as well. Third down and a mile. They will bring Niekamp on a blitz. They bring Brown on a delayed blitz. And it all pays off because it's Steffen who ends up with his second sack of the day.
Yeah, you put him in third and long, and this is how you get off the field on third down. You bring pressure, you cloud it up, and it makes it tough for Cole Payton to find anywhere to go. And Steffen is so good at getting there. Got a player down. But just really good job of Stephen continuing to go. Don't stop. You know, that's the one thing you have to do is you got to come back as a defensive lineman. You make sure you get back there and you make that play.
Griffin Empey, the injured Bison player that they are attending to. Early stop for Illinois State. Griffin Empey making his way off the field a few moments ago. The first-team All-Valley selection this year. There were 3 first-teamers on the front line for North Dakota State with Empey and Trent Fraley, Bo Johnson. Empey, a real versatile player as a freshman last year. He played both sides of the offensive line, started the year at left guard before finishing the year at right guard following the injury to Jake Rock. So we'll keep an eye on Empey. Keep in mind Josh Maggin banged up with an ankle injury, so both of these offensive lines beat up, which is normal this time of the year.
Yeah, and you just have to rely on your depth and your guys that are versatile enough to be able to move to other positions.
4th punt today for Bickerton, averaging around 47 yards per kick, and he will add to that total. Deep spiraling kick, beautifully angled, and he just pinned Casper to the far sideline. 48 yards on the punt by Bickerton. Tommy Rittenhouse in the first half, the 2-year starter back in the postseason for the 2nd straight year. It wasn't all roses in the first half.
Well, how many times did we see almost every pass in the middle of the field was blocked, but then he comes back, works the outside, and then gets that nice touchdown to Sopwith. The defensive line is doing a really good job of getting their hands in the passing lane and window. Rittenhouse has to guard against that because he's not a tall guy, but they know if they can get their hands up, they have a chance to impact the throw.
First offensive series of this 3rd quarter for the Redbirds from the 36 against a 4-man front, settling down. Little hitch pattern, Dylan Lord. Lord with his 6th catch of the day. Good first down pickup as they stay on schedule.
And I like the arm angle. The slot angle was a little higher. There was a defender trying to hit the ball at the line of scrimmage. Tommy Rittenhouse, almost like a quarterback or a pitcher, gets it up high and over the top.
17 completions to 6 different receivers. Lord leading the way, 6 catches, 29 yards. 2nd down, up the middle they go, and a first down run, it looks like initially, as they spot it from Victor Dawson. And with that carry, Dawson now goes over 100 yards. First time this Bison defense has surrendered a 100-yard rusher.
And a lot of plays for this Bison defense. They've been on the field a lot. One of the offensive linemen, looks like McGarity, is a little bit nicked up.
This is Jack McGarry now who is injured. And there you see Winkers Wright, who was ruled inactive right before kickoff. And this was a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago for Illinois State. Always has a contagious smile on his face, but he suffered a shoulder injury last week. Just could not give it a go, and this is a guy that pretty much has played banged up all season long.
And McGarry has been injured as well, nicked up, and we're hoping that they could keep him in the game. Winker Wright all season has just played hurt. Couldn't go today.
So Braden Jellison now moves to the center position from guard, and he opens up a hole on a quick hitter for Dawson. A little ISO football over the A-gap and plunging his way into plus territory goes the senior from Akron.
Yeah, I mean, the holes are opening up. Look on the interior right there. That offensive line does a nice job of moving. Woolen comes over, they're getting it, but this 5 yards every time you run the ball is not where you want to be if you're North Dakota State.
So Jellison at center, you have Wallace at right guard, Brassfield at right tackle. They are mixing and matching up front. The anchor has been over on the left side with Jake Pope at left tackle. 2nd down and 5, Lord in motion, good time, dangerous throw, tipped up, and it's intercepted again. The old tip drill still on his feet, working his way to the Redbird 47, the 4th interception today.
Donovan Woolen comes over and knocks that ball up. He just played a role in almost all of the interceptions, except for the Staling touchdown. Watch number 1. Long, limp, athletic. Gets his hand in there, knocks it up. Now, one thing that Woods can do is come back and be more friendly. Look at 4. Don't just stay there. Go. Don't let him beat you to the spot of the ball. But really nice job. And Rittenhouse has got to be upset with himself.
And Logan Larson made him think about it a few extra seconds on the turf.
Yeah, and one thing there, I know that's going to go on Rittenhouse, but I'm going to put some of the blame on Sopkowitz as well, because that's where you as a receiver have to help. Be friendly to your quarterback, because this team is a ball-hawking defense.
See if this gets this crowd back into it. Here comes the blitz, untouched, and they get rid of it to Scott, but he was being hounded the entire way. That was Jake Anderson, the nose guard, out on the edge, keeping up with Scott. Pressure up the middle applied by Mason Kaplan.
Yeah, Mason Kaplan came like a shotgun. He was there, and all of a sudden you see Cole Payton say, hey, I got to rush everything. That's why they're not getting any rhythm, because they're just not letting them get comfortable and do the things that the Bison usually are accustomed to doing.
Keep in mind, 78 of those 122 yards on the very first play of this football game. Travis Niecamp's defense getting the job done. Scott over the right side trying to churn his legs, and he will move the pile to the 42. It's a gain of 5, setting up 3rd down.
Sean, we talked about the defenses playing a role, and they really have. I mean, if this Illinois State team can look up and say, we've held this team to 21 plays. We've been really good. Cole Payton is 2 of 6. The run game has been 39 yards for North Dakota State. The problem is the turnovers have hurt Illinois State, and I think that's the issue, that if you can change, you're still in this ball game.
Nelson and Williams to the bottom. Lance, the receiver, at the top. NDSU 1 for 5 on 3rd downs today. Payton hit from the backside, and they are going to get to him again. That was Reese Edwards, and he was not going to let him get free this time.
One of the things that this team, Illinois State, has done a good job of is sacking the quarterback. And that is what North Dakota State has done a job of blocking. There's some frustration now. You're going to see penalty flags flow, because there are a lot of jawing now between these two ball clubs.
Looked like North Dakota State post whistle there and getting a little too physical, and got to believe this will be 15 on the Bison.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think this defense has really played well. You can't ask them to do anything more than what they've done, other than that first pass right out of the gate.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 88. That's his first. That's a 15-yard penalty. Down counts. 4th down.
Carson Williams, tight end. It was a great story about Bauer. Also got his scholarship before the San Diego State game. You see on the other side, I mean, just flying to the ball, man. Reese Edwards, Bauer is there, and then you're going to see the penalty. Yeah, Carson Williams. You can't do that.
Illinois State is certainly believing right now, and this defense for Travis Niekamp, they are flying to the football. That is the 3rd sack today, and now they're coming after the punt. Bickerton gets it away, but it's off the side of his foot. And the momentum right now clearly with the boys from Normal, Illinois.
Yeah, Sean, I remember what Niekamp said, hey, we may bring everybody if we have to. And they are doing that.
30 yards on the punt. The Redbirds survive another turnover, down 7. From Fargo, and a good one. North Dakota State, the defending champs, in a battle with Illinois State. Brock's back. He's coaching hard along the Redbird sideline. In fact, so hard, he won 5 more yards on that last punt. So they start. He argued that whole time.
He did. I loved it.
And he won it. Redbirds a long way away from their nest, but they have showed up, and look at the hole over the right side. Victor Dawson falling ahead, and Charles, you have to go back a long time to see North Dakota State get pushed around in this building like Illinois State is right now.
Getting pushed around, but also Illinois State is calling the plays perfectly, where North Dakota State is vulnerable. Whatever they lose edge contain, these guys, the running backs, whoever it is been able to make a play, and they're finding holes and gaps in this defense.
This crowd getting antsy, trying to light a fire with the defense as Dawson one more time gets the call, and he's belted at the 48 by Logan Larson.
The key thing for them is what? Not turn the ball over. Tommy Rittenhouse has to protect the ball. And to me, this becomes now where you boot him out a little bit, you have sprint action, do something, because when he's sitting in the pocket, that's where it gets dangerous for this Illinois State team.
Here comes this crowd now as they rise to their feet. Code green, as they like to call it. Third down, third straight carry, and a first down run by Dawson onto the Bison side to the 48.
One cut, go. Whatever that hole is, Dawson is reading it well, but this offensive line is providing so much. Watch here. As soon as he gets it, goes inside, boom. I see it there. I know there's one guy outside. Woolen is going to come and tackle me, but he's going to tackle me after I get that first down.
Statistical dominance in this football game by Illinois State. 1st and 10 Redbirds at the Bison 48. They go empty. Dawson in motion. 4-man front. Time for Rittenhouse. 50-50 ball, and this one sailed. Good coverage along the far side. They were looking for Sobkowitz, but Alexander with him every step of the way.
It's just one of those things, man, where you have to figure out a way not to put the ball in harm's way, and that's so hard against these linebackers. Cobb, who we've seen him show up, 43, 52 Staling, and Donovan Woolen. They have just made it difficult on that interior to throw for Tommy Rittenhouse.
Second down, sideline pattern. Casper reels it in, pushed out of bounds at the 42 by Woolen.
Eddie Casper was the star earlier in the game. He was keeping things going, making the dirty short yards and getting yards after catch. They've stayed ahead of the chains for the most part, and I think that's the one thing now which you got to continue to do.
Short, precise passing game for Illinois State. Casper 6 catches, 38 yards. Lord 6 catches, 29 yards. They need 4 here on 3rd down and 4.
4 of 9 on 3rd downs today.
3 receivers right. That's the direction they want to go. Rittenhouse flush, being pursued by Larson. Spots Dawson, who toe drags along the near side, but he'll be just shy of the first down.
And Dawson has 20, now 21 catches on the season. Good receiver out of the backfield. Does a nice job of getting his foot down, staying there. They're going to go for this. The way they've run the football, I don't blame it. This part of the field, too far to kick and too far to punt. And the way your offensive line is coming off the ball, there's an opportunity for you to kind of turn this momentum of the game.
How about a little physical football in the Missouri Valley Football Conference right here. 4th down and 1. They fake the jet sweep. They move the pocket. Rittenhouse underneath, caught by Charles, and a first down. Illinois State converts for the 2nd time on 4th down.
I normally don't like to see the quarterback throw back inside, but I like it there because it's a big tight end body. Watch Rittenhouse, see 85. He's sitting there. He just turns around, makes himself available, and that sidearm throw. Now, you're going to have a couple of guys that get hurt on that play, but Javon Charles with a nice catch.
There's an injured Bison player down.
Timeout on the field.
So an injury timeout. Illinois State converts on 4th down. The championship hardware, impressive, and it greets you right as you walk in. The beautiful Fargo Dome and the run of dominance for the green and gold. Talon Edey, the injured player, looks like he's going to be all right. Walked off at his own power. He already has an interception today. 3rd straight game with a pick for Edey. That's never been done in the history of Bison football.
He's made himself really available, and his desire to be physical is the one thing that I took away from those coaches' meetings yesterday.
After the 4th down conversion, Rittenhouse has the Redbirds lined up. from the 36, changing up the play. Has plenty of time. Rittenhouse, straight drop, checks down to Dawson, who makes the catch, and a good open field tackle by Woolen.
What they're trying to do now is keep him outside the numbers, but also give him bigger bodies. You can see Maylander was right behind Dawson on the interior, waiting if he needed to have a safety valve.
Maylander and Casper to the top. Sobkowitz to the bottom. They'll bring a safety over the top to help out with the dangerous number 2 in white. 2nd down and 9. On the inside slant, they just took what they gave them. Little cushion given off the edge by Shadimi Alfaro, and it's a nice gain on 2nd down.
One of the few times he's had that space, right? He's had guys all up on him in his grill. And for the first time, the ability to find him open and with some space on the field side away from the boundary. Tony Peterson has called a really good game.
Peterson, the offensive coordinator, his 4th year. Lots of years calling plays for FBS programs throughout his career. 3rd down and 2, and they will go to Dawson, and he is hit shy of the 1st down. Coming off the edge that time, it was the leader, Mr. Kopp.
Logan Kopp, better athlete than give him credit. He showed you there. He comes hard off the edge. Look at 43. He is just going to make himself available. Nobody there. He gets there hard and fast and stops that right in his track, forcing a 4th and 2.
They'd be looking at about a 45-yard field goal for Maldonado, but as you talked about, you come to Fargo, you need touchdowns. 4th down and 2. Rittenhouse will keep it for the first time, and he will scoop for the 1st down and then some. Dives his way inside the red zone to the 19. It's a pickup of 8.
That was an excellent play call at the right time. Rittenhouse hasn't been a runner much today, but at that particular time, look at how the defense sees what Dawson has done. Boom, nobody there. They lose contain just a little. Kopp can't get out there, and he picks up the 1st down. Wow.
Rittenhouse sat as a backup his first couple of years, sat behind a really good quarterback in Zach Annexstad. An unusual path, but a young man who had no urge to play right away, said he wanted to learn the ropes. 1st down, he will throw on the run, making the catch inside the 10, and pushed out of bounds goes Maylander. Actually going to say he stepped out around the 12.
And they're adding, Sean, some pivot and whip routes where you work inside and you work outside, making sure he has clean windows to throw the football. And had the ball tipped this half, and that's where they really hurt him in the 1st half.
And you just keep looking at the clock, and it is milking away. We're at 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
Every time I look up, I'm saying, where'd the clock go?
3rd play of this drive, 2nd down and 3. Dawson picking and choosing as he is snowed under at the 10 by Wilson, setting up a very manageable 3rd and 1.
But you and I both said it at the halftime break. This game plays into the favor of Illinois State if they protect the football, because it's constricting the time. It's making the North Dakota State explosive offense stay on the sideline. And then this Illinois State team, if they can stay out of harm's way on offense, they can score here. This changes the game.
Third down, Dawson. I'm not sure he got there. Not a real good spot as the line judge comes in, and it was Ryan Jones lending support from his safety position who came flying in. And a 4th down as we go inside 2 minutes to go.
Oh, man.
3rd quarter.
This is crazy because on the year, Illinois State is 59% on 4th down. You can add those 3 to 3 coming into today's ball game. They have been so effective today on 4th down.
4th and a yard. The money down has been their friend. Dawson trying to run his way ahead. I don't think he got there. He did not. North Dakota State stiffens up.
Wow.
Huge stop for the Bison. Who do you you need to make a play with the game on the line, your captain, your leader, Logan Kopp.
Yeah, you got to find a way, but also, too, I think on the interior, Dutton Heifer, look at him, 64, just bench pressing guys on the interior, which allows Logan Kopp to come over the top.
Yeah, he put Logan Brassfield 3 or 4 yards deep into the backfield.
Leader of the defensive line, physical and knockback. I don't know what the terminology in wrestling is, but I know in football, that's pancaking on the other side.
That's 3 points, feet to back, danger exposure. 1st and 10, North Dakota State from the 11-yard line. Peyton is going to throw. Hit as he threw it, as it falls incomplete. Boy, North Dakota State has no answer for Garrett Steffen right now. He is having himself a day.
Yeah, they talked about guys, who is going to be the one to make the play? Who wants to make the play? And Garrett Steffen says, hey, I want to, coach. Violent hands, get there. He is just taking Nate Tostad to the cleaners, whoever he lines up against. That's just not him. But anytime, you got to make sure you don't let a guy with violent hands do what he's doing right now.
An offense that continues to fire blanks. 6 drives since the long touchdown pass to Lance. Penu trying to find any type of crevice, cannot.
And that's the other thing they're doing, Sean. The run game has been non-existent so far in this half, or any of the plays, really. 2.1 yards per carry for this North Dakota State team, which is unusual because that's where they thrive. This offense they average 225 yards rushing. You would think by now they would have at least 100 plus.
Cole Payton, the finalist for the most prestigious honor at the FCS level. Just 2 completions today, 2 of 7. 3rd down, they rush 4, drop 7 into coverage, into the zone. Peyton delivers a bullet and a 1st down. Huge throwing catch. Carson Williams, the tight end, and a 1st down for the Bison.
Really nice job by Carson Williams. Cole Payton finally had some opening, and usually tight end is a quarterback's best friend.
They go
because he
tempo.
gets over the top and makes it.
Excuse me, Charles, but tempo for the first time after the 22-yard completion.
They haven't been able to go tempo because they've been in 3 and outs, and they haven't really been able to go, and I like that. Continue to do that because that's going to give your offense that rhythm that you've been looking for and not allow the other team in Illinois State to substitute.
See if they try to get one more play off. They will. Cole Payton the throw, and he is going to dial up the deep ball. Incomplete. Good coverage again by Kuba as they were looking for Lance. And a good one between 2 Missouri Valley Football Conference schools. Why is this conference the best? You're seeing it on full display today in Fargo. North Dakota State threw the initial uppercut. Brock's back, and the Redbirds have countered just consistent jabs to the gut over the last couple of quarters, and we have a good one. A 1-touchdown game as we march to the 4th quarter, and for Tim Polasek and the Bison, this has been their quarter throughout the course of the regular season. And Brock's back talked about it. You have to survive and win the 4th quarter if you're going to upset the Bison.
Yeah, you have to have something left in the gas tank to finish because you know the Bison, when they get moving, it's awful hard to stop them.
Alongside Charles Arbuckle, Sean Kinney, our Fargo crew today. 3rd down and 4, 2nd round of the NCAA FCS playoffs. Winner of this game gets the winner of UC Davis from Rhode Island tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. They will keep it on the quarterback run, and a big hit. Flying down the line of scrimmage was Kaplan. LaShavion Brown also in on the stop, and that sets up a 4th down. And it looks like North Dakota State gathers the punting unit along the near side.
Sounds like a law firm, Kaplan and Brown. Laying a little hammer there. But both of those guys, what they did is they knew with Peyton being a running threat, shot down the line of scrimmage and made sure he couldn't get anywhere. And that was a nice play by the defense.
Aaron Bickerton on to punt, gets it away, high kick. Casper with the fair catch, 46 yards. On the punt, this Redbird defense has showed up in the cold of snow of Fargo, and they have been hard-hitting really from the opening whistle.
Man, Garrett Steffen just is all over the field, 56, but there's other guys like Dexter Niekamp, his brother Ty Niekamp, the whole crew, but Reese Edwards just really getting after the football and making it very difficult for this North Dakota State offense.
3 sacks today, 2 of them from Steffen. Edwards has the other sack. They have been a brick wall against this Bison offense. First down from his own end zone. Rittenhouse will take off, and he will pick up some positive yards as he is escorted out of bounds. 4 yards on the run for Rittenhouse, and fourth quarters have not been kind to the Redbirds. They have just been crushed in the final 15 minutes of football games this year.
It's been amazing because they've been so good at other points of the ball game, but just can't finish. And I think that's the one real key for them today. How do you finish a game against such a tough opponent?
They're going to pick a spot to finish a fourth quarter. This would be the one to do it in. 2nd down and 6. They will keep it. Little RPO. They set up the screen. Lord doesn't have much to work with. There was a lot of green over there. Donovan Wolin, who's been all over the field, and a 3rd down.
Wolin plays sideline to sideline, and he is just all over the field. Southmore, Frisco, Texas.
What do you like here, Charles?
Well, I think the one thing that's worked for him is throwing the ball outside and keeping it away from those linebackers, or Tommy Rittenhouse rolling out and then using his legs.
He's been good when he's moved the pocket. Loudest part of the Fargo Dome right now. 3rd down and 5. Here they come. Out pattern wide open and making the catch. There is a flag in the secondary. Dylan Lord, if this sticks, his 8th catch of the day, but let's see what the laundry is about.
He came in the secondary.
You almost wonder if this was a rub route because Lord was so wide open.
Yeah, it generally is when it comes like that where the flag is thrown. Offensive pass interference. Tim Polasek is.
He was on top of it.
Yeah, he was.
Pass interference, offense number 2. Indian reports after distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, whenever that flag comes out back there and it doesn't look like holding, generally you're going to get a situation where it is a OPI. Sopka was coming right in there, and you're going to see Polasek. Look, he was on it. He saw it right away.
He's an offensive guy. He says, I leave the defense to Grant Olson, but he became a defensive guy right there.
Well, you use your best receiver as a decoy, but when you run into the defender, they're going to usually call that.
Tough hill to climb now for Rittenhouse. 3rd down. He will uncork it, and it's pick number 5 for North Dakota State. Down the sideline, pushed out of bounds. Anthony Shadimi Alfaro, the 5th takeaway for the Bison.
They almost baited him into throwing that ball.
Ruling on the field, the interception.
Underneath guy.
1st and 10, North Dakota State.
There's no way that ball's going to get there. 24 is going to just stay right there and kind of stay below, and then at the last second come off and drift over there. There's someone coming to the flat, but he's smart enough to know on a long throw, I know he's got to throw there, and I can just come back down on Glatz, but he does an excellent job of defense and gets the interception.
3rd career interception. He's one of 2 Ivy transfers on the defensive side of the football for North Dakota State, both he and Jack Juliana. And now the Bison offense on the doorstep as they will hand it off, and this is Penu, and he is in. Touchdown, North Dakota State.
If your offense isn't playing well, defense just says, okay, we'll be the best offense for you, and then make a short field and let you score. And Penu could smell it after that INT. Talk about a team that knows how to finish. This North Dakota State team, boy, they will score and they will finish a game.
Penu has been a touchdown machine this year. That is his 20th rushing touchdown. They have converted so many times in the red zone because of the local product from West Fargo. This defense setting the tone. Shademi Alfaro, the 5th takeaway today for North Dakota State. And then Penu knew what to do. This North Dakota State defense has been opportunistic this afternoon. 5 interceptions. That is a new Division I program record for the Bison. 5 picks coming from 4 different players. Shademi Alfaro, the transfer that they brought in from Cornell. He's been so good this year supporting the run. He had a huge interception late in the game against North Dakota in that battle with the Fighting Hawks, and now he comes away with a key takeaway late in this football game.
All season, Rittenhouse had 5 interceptions. He's got 5 today, which now gives him 19 on the season, North Dakota State.
This one will sail through the end zone for the touchback. And you look at Tommy Rittenhouse, he's played really well at times, but at other times just the wrong decision.
Well, the wrong decision, but also this defensive line has tipped the ball really well and gotten in those first 3 interceptions. But this one, almost every time it's been a tip ball or it's been something. Right here, throw down to Glass. Don't put it there. Don't force that in because you're not going to help yourself. Your defense has played really well.
A lot of time in this football game. Rittenhouse, Geneva, Illinois native, just loves the system, loves this program. Usually when you go to Hancock Stadium, you'll see about 30 to 35 Rittenhouse jerseys because he has so many family and friends around the area. See if he can rally the Redbirds. He will move the pocket. Hole opens up, and a good play there by Tommy Rittenhouse as he torpedoes his way up to the 30. Now they're going to say his knee went down about the 28, so 3 yards.
And when he's made the right decisions or been able to get outside, he's done a nice job. 2 touchdowns down, but now you just got to find a way to keep the ball away from the defense, but get the ball to the weapons.
Well, you look for stars to make plays, and this would be Sobkowitz's opportunity on 2nd down. They will throw toward the sideline, and it's broken up, incomplete. Edey back in there after we saw him leave the game briefly, and a 3rd down for Rittenhouse.
Shademi Alfaro was just driving Sobkowitz out of bounds and forced him to throw to Casper on that one.
Fresh bodies along the front line for North Dakota State. Dutton Heffer's checked in. Wilson in there. Anene, who's been so good on the rush late in the year. And now they bring a corner blitz off the edge. It's picked up. They will throw toward the sticks and stretching the hand out, unable to reel it in. Incomplete. They were looking for Sobkowitz, but it was Shademi Alfaro one more time. A flag in the backfield as well, where Rittenhouse let her fly.
Holding, offense number 78. That penalty be declined, 4th down.
Yeah. You could tell when they came with the pressure, it really made it difficult for Rittenhouse. Tried to work outside. This North Dakota State team dialed up the pressure and made it uncomfortable for him.
Speaking of uncomfortable, opposing teams are always uncomfortable kicking to Jackson Williams. He's already torched the Redbirds for a punt return touchdown today. See if Futch keeps it away from him. Angle kick toward the far side. Williams runs into his own guy, and a flag is thrown. Good job there by Illinois State with the special teams coverage. The punt of 47 yards by Futch, and let's see what the penalty is. Injured Redbird down as well, and that is their defender and Dorian DuBose.
So he's okay. 47 tackles on the year. I think he's all right.
And he's letting some fans in Fargo know that he's all right.
During the return, blocking the back, return team, number 14. That's a 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10, North Dakota State.
We'll take a break. 11:45 to go. Tim Polasek, ND State, in a battle with Illinois State today. It's been quite a year for Cole Payton, his first year orchestrating the Bison offense, but today it's been a different story. He started with a bang, the long touchdown pass to Bryce Lance, but since then, just 2 completions, and he's had a tough time handling the Redbird pressure.
Yeah, the Redbirds have really done a nice job of making him uncomfortable, not letting him get any situation where he can set his feet and throw or even run the ball. And that's the one thing. He does a nice job with his legs, but he's been non-existent there. The other thing is they didn't play much in their last game against St. Thomas. And so I'm wondering if that layoff is really hurting this offense.
Running to the boundary side is Pinu. Go back to Cole Payton. What a year it's been. Second in the voting for Offensive Player of the Year in the Valley. We talked about one of 3 finalists for the prestigious Payton Award, which is the Heisman equivalent at the FCS level. And this season alone, he has put up some eye-popping numbers. He has 3 of the top 6 single-game individual performances in North Dakota State history. He accounted for 401 yards against SEMO, 380 against South Dakota State. He had a 375-yard effort against the Coyotes of South Dakota. Just a testament to how well Illinois State and this defense has played. Nowhere to go for Pinu.
Yeah, and this is the one thing for them. If North Dakota State is going to really have to work if they win this ball game for their offense to be better than what it's been today. Illinois State has played well, and I'm not taking anything away from them. They have done a nice job on short fields, long fields. The only time they didn't look good was that very first play of the game.
3rd down and 9. They need to get it to the 26. 2 receivers, twin set both sides. They keep Pinu in the backfield. They bring a linebacker on 3rd down. They brought Kaplan, and miscommunication as this throw sails incomplete. Nobody within 10 yards of it. And Illinois State, still with tons of time in this football game, should get the ball back in great position.
Illinois State has had all kind of opportunities, and they talked about getting off the field if you were Travis Niekamp, the defensive coordinator for Illinois State.
There's no foul for intentional grounding as the passer was out of the pocket. Ball made it past the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
Bickerton on the punt. Casper awaiting the kick around his own 40-yard line. Trying to get after it. This is a line drive kick. Casper with the fair catch at the 40. 43 yards on the punt. Illinois State football. Don't forget the FCS playoffs continue with quarterfinal action next Friday and Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. We started the day with 16 from the original field of 24. Villanova has punched their ticket into the quarterfinals. Low-scoring game against Lehigh, 14-7. Tarleton State, North Dakota. That's over on ESPN Plus. Winner of this game gets UC Davis, Rhode Island tonight on the West Coast on ESPN2. Rittenhouse, nobody open, and he is chased down, and then a flag is thrown. He paid the price. Multiple flags along the far side. That was Elijah Wayne. And Rittenhouse not too pleased with some words for the young freshman.
Elijah Wayne was going to chase him down, and he just kept going, even when he was out of bounds. You know, they've been bound and determined. Both teams, if the quarterback runs the ball, you got to make him pay, but at some point you got to pull up. Elijah Wayne grabs him and takes him all the way down. But it looks like he started in the field of play And I think they're talking about this now.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 57. It's a 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
You know, if it hadn't been the quarterback, I don't think it would have been a call. But I think right here, Elijah Wayne starts inside and then goes all the way out. So that's probably why, how he takes him down. Fans are upset, but letter of the law looks like they're going to call it that way.
Omaha has been a steady pipeline throughout the years for North Dakota State. Wayne, another good young player that Polasek has landed along the Missouri River. Look at the hands catch there by Dylan Lord. Just snatching it from midair. 41-yard line, a gain of 4.
Yeah, contested catches. This is one of them. Pluck it out of the air, and they're going to go fast, tempo, which I think is smart.
Second down and 6. This will be Victor Dawson looking for the cutback lane. Dawson churns his way up to the 38.
I can't say enough about this offensive line, too, being banged up. Some of the things they've been able to do against a real stout defense.
Third down and 3, and they will go right back to Dawson, who slips free into the second wave, and a first down run for the senior, who just continues to get the job done on the ground. Now 123 yards rushing for the transfer from Cincinnati.
Logan Kopp was holding off for dear life, because if he didn't, look at this, 43 is going to come in, and if he doesn't tackle him here, he might still be running.
Fresh set of downs. They bring the blitz off the edge. Slipping and falling was Sobkowitz, and he still nearly made the catch on his knees. Alfaro with the coverage.
Yeah, Alfaro, Duffy, Alexander, they said they're going to play him tough. And you can see that today. No matter where he lines up, there's extra attention being paid to Sobkowitz. And he knows he's got guys in his hip pocket.
They have contained him for the most part. He has the touchdown catch, but for the program's all-time leading receiver, 3 catches today for 32 yards. Second down. Rittenhouse plants the feet, lobs it, Presson makes the catch, and it should be first and goal for the Redbirds. Scotty Presson, good for 20 yards.
Another good catch by Presson. Again, running down the field and the seam route, nice job.
Illinois State keeps the foot on the gas. This is Dawson. Oh my, he just got pummeled at the line of scrimmage. No chance whatsoever. That was Gibbons.
Yeah. Gibbons comes in flying from that strong safety position. You know, another area out of Minnesota, the junior, just bringing the heat.
They cannot pick up a first down. Second and goal after the TFL by Gibbons. 3 receivers bunched up near side. That's the direction they go. It's right back to Scotty Presson, but Kopp lassoed in and bunkered down on his leg, and a third down for Rittenhouse.
Yeah, 2-down territory, of course, right here. You've got to score a touchdown. Field goals does nothing for you. But you also have to protect the football. The one thing they haven't been able to do consistently in this game today.
They've had a bunch of third downs, right at 33%, 5 of 15 today. Sobkowitz to the top of the field. The inside slot, Dylan Lord. Third down, and this play blown dead.
False start.
False start. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Sobkowitz trying to get a head start.
Usually you see it go against the offensive lineman, not the receiver. It's a little too quick. It's that move right there.
Sobkowitz, the program's all-time touchdown receiving leader. He has 1 today. He tags up with Lord at the bottom. Casper and Presson to the right. Third down, underneath, making the catch. Lord has some work to do. Tried to bulldozer his way through a couple of defenders, and he was not going to cut through Givens, who held his ground.
Lord, the redshirt freshman, man, showing some fight.
There's 7 minutes to go, but you have the feeling this is it if you're Illinois State.
Yeah, you got to find a way to score a touchdown here. With a team that finishes like North Dakota State does, you got to get a touchdown here.
And you got to believe they give Sobkowitz a chance. Fourth down and goal. They're looking his way. Pressure comes, and he's sacked back at the 11-yard line, hit by a Nene.
Yeah, Nene is a guy that has really turned it on the last few games, playing well. Said he had to be fired up. He was fired up on that one. 93 is going to just come, beat his man with violent hands and violent to the quarterback. Get the sack for a Nene.
Two programs who know each other so well, you just don't know how it's going to turn out in an encore game like this where they've already played each other once. I don't think too many had this on the script. 5 turnovers for Illinois State, 5 interceptions from a quarterback who threw 5 all year. North Dakota State, the third-ranked offense in FCS football, held to just 5 first downs. Bizarre stuff here from Fargo today.
Well, and to add to that, they've given up 164 rushing yards, 124 by Dawson, which doesn't normally happen either. But at the end of the day, if you're the North Dakota State team, you figure out a way to win. You say, I don't care how ugly or how pretty it looks, as long as you get the dub.
A Bison program that has the longest active win streak. It's 16 games. That's the third longest in North Dakota State history. They had an amazing stretch from 17 to 21 when they won 39 games. Bootleg. Peyton will throw on the run, and it is broken up. Perfect timing by Wilson. Cam Wilson's made a couple of really good plays.
He's playing all the way through against a guy that's such a good receiver. 25 just says, okay, I know we're behind, and I know you're going to Lance, but I'm going to fight this all the way to the end. Look at that. Great effort. That's what you got to have if you're going to beat this team. The defense has played really well, but you can't have 5 turnovers, and you cannot not score in the red zone.
You mentioned the red zone woes for Illinois State, 1 of 3 today. Third down and 7, 5.5 to go, and they will swing it out toward the flat, making the catch, but Illinois State was not fooled. That was Reese Edwards. He was there every step of the way.
Yeah, he was right on top of it. I mean, he had no chance. Owen Johnson, the receiver, but Reese Edwards. Again, that linebacking crew on both sides. Both teams feel like they've got a really strong linebacking core, and they've showed up today.
You see Edwards, you see Mason Kaplan. We talked about Niekamp, the leader of the linebacking core. Mason Kaplan, deja vu when you look at his career. His very first college experience was in this building, but it was with a different program and at a different position. He was a quarterback for Valparaiso. Casper on the return, shakes free, gets to the corner, and he will high step it out of bounds. So 53 yards on the punt, but 23 yards on the return from Casper, and Illinois State keeps that glimmer lit. That candle stays lit for the Redbirds on the road today.
Well, the inefficiencies of the North Dakota State offense has allowed this game to stay in balance for Illinois State. Great return there by Casper.
They have had the football, it seems like, the entire football game. But you look at their production, 12 drives, 2 touchdowns, 5 have ended with interceptions, and then 2 on failed fourth downs. More than 2-to-1 edge in number of plays ran as They get to Rittenhouse again as he was able to throw a wobbler, but a Nene starting to flex his muscle.
He is beating Brassfield right off the bat and just allowing him to get there. That's now 78 plays for Illinois State versus 35 total plays for North Dakota State.
Nene really came on late last year for North Dakota State, had a good performance in the championship win against Montana State. Second down and 10. Rittenhouse dodges him again. Now dumps it off over the middle. Dawson the catch. Makes a move to the outside. Lowers the leverage and drives his way to the 25. Good work. Yards after catch by Victor Dawson.
Good heads-up play by Rittenhouse. He knew where the pressure was coming, and it had come from the last 3 dropbacks. He gets underneath and finds Dawson, and Dawson does a nice job of yards after catch.
Dawson's been a pretty effective safety valve today. His 4th catch. First down and 10. Inside slant. Sobkowitz the catch. Close to a first down. He picks up 9.
Say tempo is what works for you. Get a score and then try to get the onside kick.
Inside 4 minutes, Illinois State, all 3 of their timeouts. They wanted the double move and then darting it at the last second, and a diving catch is made. Boy, great grab there by Maylander. Well, now they're going to say incomplete.
I thought he dug it out like a shortstop. Got all your timeouts. You're in perfect position. Again, now you're in the red zone. You've got to come away with a touchdown.
Keep an eye on number 1. They love to bring him off the edge. They do here. That opens up the middle on the first down. Again, Rittenhouse paid the price behind the play. He was destroyed by Dutenheffer, but this kid is tough, and he will hang in there.
Wherever you see the blitz coming, roll to that point because it's vacated. Nice job by Rittenhouse. Nice job by Sobkowitz.
8 yards on the completion, first down and goal. We've been down this road before, making the catch, but tackled immediately. Glatz with the catch. Logan Kopp, his 11th tackle today.
And this linebacker crew has just played outstanding football. Kopp is all over the field.
Second down and goal. They are going to loft it. Sobkowitz high points it, gets a foot down.
Wow.
Touchdown, Illinois State.
I don't know how he put his foot down and went up and caught the ball, but Rittenhouse gave him every opportunity to go get that catch. He goes up at the highest point and watch the foot. He comes down with the foot inbounds and holds on to it all the way through. Great job by Sobkowitz. You can see why he's such a valuable player to this offense. Great job. Catch it, foot down, secure it all the way through. Touchdown.
And that's why he has been the best throughout the years of Illinois State football. The career leader, touchdown receptions, adds a couple of more. And now the point after is up. It is through, and we have a 1-possession game. So we go back to Sobkowitz, and to be honest, this was the play call I was expecting the last trip into the red zone.
Exactly. Pressure got to him, but this time he's one-on-one, and he just goes up and does a nice job of securing the catch, getting the foot down. And Jacquees Alexander in coverage, but had no chance. And now the decision to the onside kick, try to get the ball, and you kick it to him with this North Dakota State defense. Offense hasn't played particularly well, and you still have three timeouts.
What a gutsy performance today by Tommy Rittenhouse. I mean, you throw 5 interceptions, but you read his body language.
Yeah.
He is such a fierce competitor. He just lays it on the line every single play.
And this is where you know you have a team that really cares for each other. I haven't seen once where the defense has said, hey, we're upset with you. They have just continued like, let's keep going. We have to just continue to fight through this. They're going to kick this ball off because their defense has played so well and try to maintain what they've done to not allow North Dakota State to get a first down and get the ball back again. This is going to be an interesting opportunity for NDSU to try to finish the game, which they're accustomed to.
Matt Maldonado with the tee up along the near hash, and he will send it deep. Bouncing kick that Rajon Nelson will let it trickle through the end zone. Should be no surprise we're going down to the wire in the postseason. You push the rewind button, 2015. Frisco, Texas. Trey Roberson, boy, was he fun to watch. He cut one loose, 58 yards. Putting the Redbirds up late in the football game. Roberson, Illinois State believing, but recognize this guy, Carson Wentz. That big body of his, 5 yards, he found the end zone. They pick off Roberson late, North Dakota State. Chris Kleiman winning the national championship and a little more relaxed as a spectator today.
Like all former coaches say, hey, it's easier to be on the sideline when it's not on you or in the booth or just watching ball. But I know he wants his team to win. I can assure you that.
Illinois State will use the first of their 3 timeouts. Penu picks up a yard.
Sean, I can remember watching that game that weekend. I didn't have anything or I had something later, but that was an awesome game to watch between these two ball clubs.
Hey, look at those two quarterbacks. Yeah. Trey Roberson, so dynamic with the football. And quite a career for Chris Kleiman. 5-time Valley Football Conference champion, guided the Bison to 4 championships in 5 years.
Well, and Craig Bowles before him and Reggie Moore, my roommate in college, was up here for about 4 years recruiting for these guys. He's now at Grambling State, but he always talks about the Bison and these coaches, and Kleiman was on that staff. Holasak was a young guy at that time. I mean, they have just been able to develop coaches and players as well.
Yeah, that is one heck of a coaching tree.
Oh, my goodness.
From the championship year. Second down, cutback lane opens up for Penu. See if Illinois State uses another timeout. Brown the tackle, and they are going to hold off on calling the timeout. They have the 2-minute timeout coming up.
You basically get 4 timeouts in this quasi with the 2-minute timeout as well.
North Dakota State will not have to run another play. Illinois State is going to put the remaining 2 timeouts in the back pocket and save them for the other side of this 2-minute timeout.
You got to make a stop if you're Illinois State.
A 1-possession game late. 3rd and 4 when we come back to Fargo. The march to Nashville. Stakes high when you reach the month of December at the FCS. And those stakes certainly high here. 3rd down and 4, huge play in this football game. Obviously, these two coaches, what do they dial up with a dual threat quarterback in Cole Payton?
I'd say use him, scramble him out of the pocket, make him the runner if they need to.
3rd down and 4. Illinois State will bring Brown up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to keep Arnold or Payton in the pocket. Lost the football. He lost it late. It looked like Illinois State jumped on it. No word yet as they unsort the pile.
I am shocked that they went straight drop back on that play.
Redbird football. Jake Anderson emerges away with the leather.
Wow. This defensive line has been all over this offensive line today, and they did it again there. I mean, coming off the ball, getting to the quarterback. Jake Anderson with the long arm reaches over and then recovers. Trifecta.
Please reset the clock to 152, please. 152.
Didn't get the sack, but man, what a play by him.
The tiny small town of Davis, Illinois, pumping their fist on the last play from Jake Anderson.
I am shocked that they were straight drop back because they haven't protected Cole Payton very well today.
Illinois State with the football at the 23. Rittenhouse trying to get the official's attention. He spotted something with the clock that he wasn't happy with. They hadn't quite mark the ball. Now we get ready to go. What a finish from Fargo now. Down a touchdown. Here come the Redbirds. Dawson goes in motion, pressure off the edge, and that forced Rittenhouse to get rid of it quickly. He was looking for Dawson.
Smart play by Rittenhouse. He had no chance to get it out to him, but he had gotten outside the pocket and could burn the ball there, keep it out of harm's way. Watch, he sees Anene, and Anene has just been killing Braceville. He can't block. He was unblocked. But what Rittenhouse does is he just moves outside, calmly gets rid of the football. Nice job by him.
Again, keep in mind on the right side of the Redbird line, you have a guard that's playing tackle, and you have a tackle that's playing guard because of the injury situation.
And the Bison know that. That's why they have what they have on the other side.
2nd down and 10. They will hand it off, and there goes Dawson. High kneeing it all the way to the 10. 14 yards. Dawson ripping up the Bison interior on that carry.
Dawson has just been so effective and just been able to run the football.
Redbirds get lined up quickly. They're going to look for Sobkowitz. This time too much air. They were looking for Alexander, and
I don't quite understand why they're rushing here. Take your time. If you need to call a timeout, use it. You have 2 of them. That's why you saved it. Don't put yourself in a bad position or make a bad decision on a play that you rushed to make.
yeah, with the timeout situation, obviously the clock not a factor here.
Red zone has been a nemesis for them today. They have to figure out a way to get into the end zone.
2 of 5 on their trips to the red zone. Near side throw, Sobkowitz coming back to the football, tackled immediately by Alexander.
You know, when you know each other as a team and when you're playing against each other, you figure out what it is. There's always one guy that has to make a play. Sobkowitz made it earlier. Dawson's been making it. Who's going to be the guy to make the play on the other side if you're North Dakota State?
51st pass attempt of the day by Rittenhouse, running for his life, and it's incomplete. He heard, or at least felt, the club coming. Kelton McCaslin in pursuit.
I just asked who's going to make the play. A guy with one hand, McCaslin, chasing out of St. Charles, Illinois, forcing it down now to one play.
You go through the 2-a-days in the summer heat for the opportunity at this play. Right here, a quarterfinal on the line, 10,000 strong on their feet inside the Fargo Dome. Rittenhouse looking, can take off if he wants to, trying to buy time, lofts, wow. Touchdown! Sobkowitz in the back corner. And Illinois State a point away from tying it, or do they roll the die for 2?
It almost looks like they call, let's go for 2. Finish the game here. But again, look at the scramble. And the scramble drill, which you work on all the time. Look who comes up and available. Sobkowitz. He knows, hey, my quarterback needs me. I'm going to find a way to get there. And then you say on the road, against a team like this, who is 38-1 in this building, we've got to find a way to get one more play.
Offense stays out. The 2-point conversion, even noisier now. Rittenhouse caught by Presson. The 2-point conversion. And the Redbirds, for the first time today, snatch the lead.
Wow. You talk about some guts. A guy that hadn't played well today, consistently Rittenhouse came storming back, making plays. Sobkowitz made a great touchdown catch, a 2-point conversion, and a touchdown, and then a 2-point conversion by Scotty Presson. Wow. North Dakota State's defense has been out there so long, and the throw is just right there. Almost too high, but Presson goes up and makes an outstanding grab.
We started this telecast talking about the competitive fire that drives Tommy Rittenhouse.
And Cole Payton looks like he's not even going to be able to finish this game.
Remember, it was the strip sack the last time we saw him out there, and he is a left-hander, and the ice is on the left hand, and he does not have a helmet. The backup is Nathan Hayes. So the defending champs on the ropes right now in the Fargo Dome. My goodness.
Their defense was on the field so far, 90 plays. I don't care how good you are defensively, that's a lot of plays. 38 for their offense. And now they have an offense with the young guy and the junior who's only thrown attempted 37 passes this year. Against a defense that's just been coming.
Nelson will give it a shot from his goal line, and he is hit right as he crossed the 20. So with 54 seconds to go, North Dakota State, all 3 timeouts. Keep in mind they have one of the top kickers in the country in Eli Ozick, who is connected from 54 yards this year. And you have to go all the way back to 2023, the last time the Bison have suffered a defeat inside their fortress they call the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, and in the playoffs even further back. But they don't lose here. They just don't lose here.
Big moment for Nathan Hayes out of the bullpen, the junior from West Chicago, Illinois. On first down, sideline throw, slipping and falling was Lance, and he could not control it, broken up by Kuba.
A left-hander, now you got a right-hander, which is a different ball the way it spins at you. And I think right here too, his hand.
That was Stephan who was fighting for the loose football, and that helmet went right on top of Peyton's left hand, his throwing hand.
NDSU has all 3 of their timeouts.
Second down and 10 from the 22. Nathan Hayes looks, he uncorks far side, and a diving catch is made. But they're going to mark him shy of the first down, so the clock will continue, and that will force the Bison to use a timeout.
Jackson Williams, who had punt return earlier, nice catch there.
North Dakota State, their second 30-second timeout.
Gets the ball out, not much pressure. And I would imagine that Illinois State is not going to bring the house like they were earlier.
Correction, their first timeout.
But as North Dakota State keeps marching up the field, we will see them dial it up on a young quarterback who hasn't had a lot of experience, but last year was 12 of 19, had 3 touchdowns in 8 games played. This year, 62% on the year, 382 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He is a throw-first type of quarterback. When you talk to Tim Polasek, who's been impressed with his growth throughout the course of the year, and keep in mind the last few seasons, while Cole Payton sat behind Cam Miller, it was Nathan Hayes sitting behind Cole Payton. Extensive baseball background. Would always throw the baseball around. Very good pitcher in high school, and he has a strong arm. Does he have a little late magic? Third down and 1 after the timeout, going through his progressions, and it is broken up. Cam Wilson one more time.
Yeah, how many pass defenses have we called for Cam Wilson today? I mean, he has been great in that area today.
You could hear a pin drop. Utter shock right now among the 10,000 strong.
It's the 3rd breakup today for Cam Wilson, and this crowd has to be wondering, how do we finish this ball game?
4th down and a yard. They come with the blitz. Hayes is going to hang in there, and he throws a strike up to the 40-yard line to Nelson. 9 yards for Nathan Hayes, and he knew he was going to pay the price. They get lined up, clock stops to move the chains, deep drop, looks, home run ball, trying to hit the seam, nearly intercepted. Kuba had his hands on it.
Kuba had the interception right in his hands and couldn't pull it in. Watch number 1. He looks like he's the receiver there, goes up and just can't catch it. And that would have been his 6th interception on the year.
Keep in mind, you would think The 35 to 36 yard line, the line to gain for Eli Ozick, the kicker, has an exceptionally strong leg. He's made 10 straight field goals this year. Hit as he threw it. This one falls incomplete.
The first few plays he's been in, this defense hadn't been able to get to him, but they finally find a way to attack him, and he's not able to throw it. And the pocket wasn't clean. And to your point, they've got to get the ball down in the field goal range.
Patrick Bauer putting on the pressure that time. Young man who was awarded a scholarship just 3 weeks ago. And we have a timeout. I believe the Redbirds want to talk it over.
Timeout, Illinois State. Their second. 30-second timeout.
This has been a bizarre football game between these two powers in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. It looked like North Dakota State might wipe out the Redbirds early. Very first play from the line of scrimmage offensively. Cole Payton found Bryce Lance for 78 yards. Then you add in a Jackson Williams punt return for a touchdown, and it was 14-0 Bison, and everybody around the FCS thinking, here we go again. But somehow Illinois State hung in this football game. They controlled the time of possession. They have dominated the number of plays run, and in the clutch in this fourth quarter, Rittenhouse has delivered.
They were down 28-14 in the fourth quarter. I mean, deep into the fourth quarter. And they have just found, they just kept chipping away, chopping wood, as we like to say.
After the timeout, third down, pressure off the edge. Hayes is going to try to buy time. Nothing open, so he will curl it and angle toward the near side.
Bison looked like they got away with a couple of holding penalties there. Fortunately for them, they were able to get outside. They need about 38, 37 more yards to get to that line for the field goal.
Yeah,
a career long for them.
I think Reese Edwards would agree with you. Fourth down and 7. Here we go again. North Dakota State converted a few moments ago on 4th and 1. They need to get it to the Redbird 49-yard line. Nathan Hayes looking, and he is going to uncork it, and nobody home. Illinois State has come to Fargo and pulled off the improbable.
Cam Wilson has played well all game long. And after he got beat on the first play, that just goes to show you, if you get beat in this game, you got to find a way to come back. And this Redbirds team has not been able to beat North Dakota State. They come in their house in the playoffs and find a way to pull one away for them. Cam Wilson in coverage, having gotten beat earlier, most guys wouldn't play as well. Man, he has played an outstanding ball game after getting beat early on.
The 19th all-time meeting between these two. North Dakota State have won 14 straight over Illinois State. The third time they have met in the playoffs, and for the first time, the Redbirds have figured out the Bison puzzle. 29-28, Illinois State rallies. Brock Spack and the Redbirds ready to march into the quarterfinal round.
I think I told you at halftime, this was a game that was setting up for Illinois State. And when Victor Dawson went on that long touchdown run, that was some hope. And each time North Dakota State looked like they were going to pull away, these guys battled back. Tommy Rittenhouse did not have a great game, but he made plays when he needed to, and that's what they talked about this week. And Brock Spack, what did he say about boxing? We got to be in position so we can throw that uppercut and try to finish the ball game.
It is a career high as far as passing attempts for Rittenhouse. He goes 35 of 52 for an offense that was on the field all afternoon.
91 plays for them, 48 for North Dakota State. And they never looked comfortable, North Dakota State, in getting their offensive rhythm. They just never looked comfortable today.
For the first time this year, a running back rushes for over 100 yards against the vaunted Bison defense. Victor Dawson with no winkers right. He steps up and carries the load. 23 rushes, 137 yards. And that's with their 1,000-yard running back from a season ago in Street Close.
Offensive lineman that can't play today. One that got hurt earlier in Jack McGarry. And you still find a way to win. That's what football's all about, people. You don't play it on paper. You don't play it on paper.
Brock Spack has won a lot of football games and is nearly 2 decades on the sideline at Normal. But this one on the road really has to be up near the top. And all of a sudden, you throw a dart at the board, it is going to be fun. The quarterfinals, the defending champs eliminated here at the Fargo Dome. Illinois State into the quarterfinals where they await the winner of UC Davis, Rhode Island. Those two will kick off tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2.
When you come to Fargo, you expect to see a physical, tough game. You got that, but you also got something you didn't expect. A team like Illinois State who was chipping away and finally got one.
2 Missouri Valley Football Conference teams did not disappoint today. Back and forth, but in the end, it was Rittenhouse and Sopkowitz. The late 2-point conversion, Illinois State marches into the quarterfinals. 29-28 Redbirds. For Charles Arbuckle, Sean Kenny saying so long from Fargo.